Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and in this video we are going to be breaking down a new series coming to HBO and Max. I am so excited to dive into the continuation of Matt Reeves' The Batman. We are talking about The Penguin. With this series, we are getting a look at the world of Gotham like we've never seen before, the darkest side of Gotham, that underbelly that we only get a touch of in the movies and in the show Gotham. This is a full in-depth look at that Mafioso Madness. This show is a stripped down like gangster drama, which I think is awesome. This is very in the vein of a Sopranos, of Godfather, you know, a little Scarface, a little Heat, a little Casino, all of these very iconic gangster mafia mob, you know, crime dramas. This is all like so kind of melted together into this show. It still feels very original. It still feels very Matt Reeves as the Batman. I liked getting to see more of that Gotham specifically. We'll talk about Gotham and the DC-ness of this all, but I really am impressed at this like mafia vibe here. That Mafioso Madness is what really sucked me in, watching these crime families, you know, duke it out as they're trying to find a new head of the table, basically. It's really smart. I think this is a compelling show because you're going to get people into this that aren't normally into that, like that DC superhero stuff. You give them a little bit of a crime drama, you give them something to sink their teeth into, then that's more than just, you know, the Caped Crusader shit. I can see where people are going to be really invested in this. On the opposite side, I can see people seeing that stripped down mafia vibe and going, ooh, this isn't for me. I want my bigger, over-the-top dramas. This to me reminds me of when the MCU would do a Captain America story or the Daredevil show, where they would really put it on a ground level. This is really stripping down Gotham, stripping down the universe of the Penguin and the Batman and all these vibes. It's really stripping it and giving us a raw look at what happens when a man is struggling for a power grab and what he would do, the people he would hurt, the people he would save just to get that power. I love that kind of vibe, and that's why this show is so damn strong. I was able to see the entire season of The Penguin, so I'm trying to keep this video very spoiler-free for everyone, but what I will say is, I love the flow of the show. It starts off strong. That first episode gives you a lot of oh my god moments, and then in the middle, it definitely slows down. It takes some time to get its bearings. Like episode 4, we get all about, like, Sofia Falcone. Like, it's definitely a origin story of that character, getting some of that background to really, you know, flesh out the story later on, because it's truly Sofia and Oz's show. These two kind of mafia heads battling it out to see who is going to run this crime empire. I love that. I think these performances are great. And again, I like seeing Batman's, I think, most underrated rogue get a spotlight like this. We have the Joker, who is doing, you know, the controlled chaos of the Joker. We have Mr. Freeze, who's on his revenge tour to save his wife. We have all these characters that have their own story, but I think the Penguin is integral to everything. Without the Penguin and without this crime, you know, the mafia, the mob aspect to the Gotham, to the Batman universe, everything would fall apart. You need these characters, and I really think the Penguin is one of those characters that is the glue that keeps us all together, and the show really spotlights that with a great performance from Colin Farrell. My goodness, he is just deliciously gross. Like, he's weird, he's off-putting. There's just so much about this character that really stands out to me. And I think Colin Farrell just puts himself into this. I lose Colin Farrell in a lot of times. This one, I think more than the movie, I can see Colin Farrell in the eyes and then in the face and then maybe the mannerisms a bit more. But with just this performance, it feels so otherworldly for him. It feels so transformative, which makes it easier to buy the show, to really fall into it. But again, I really like what the Penguin has to offer for not just the show, but for Gotham and for Batman universe overall. Colin Farrell is not alone in the madness of this show. Sofia Falcone, brought to life by Cristin Milioti, I believe her name is. You remember her from the movie Palm Springs a couple years ago. I loved her in that. But my goodness, she is on a different level here. When I read the description of, like, psychopathic serial killer, I was like, sure, okay. Seeing it depicted, seeing it brought to life here, wow, it is it's deranged. It is one of the most deranged performances I've seen. While I think Colin Farrell's giving one of the best DC performances of any time, I would say Sofia Falcone might be one of my favorite DC female villains of all time now. She really stepped it up here. The character, the writing, the acting of this. You feel Sofia Falcone as an important, integral part to all of this crime world. Like, it feels she is just now as important as what we got with Cobb. And I love that. I think that is so smart and so important. And it gives us two different sides of this coin. And we're really falling in love with the family drama. Again, there was a lot of family stuff with the Falcones and with Cobb's family himself. So I really enjoy that vibe. And I think that was so smart to give this show such a grounded, like, kind of villain. But also I relate to this villain. And, you know, Cobb is a villain in his own right too. So it's giving you protagonists and antagonists that are a bit different from a television show. It is very Sopranos, where you're like, maybe I'm not following around the best people. You're not, and that's what makes the show so entertaining. One thing I really appreciate is what they're doing to expand Gotham like we've never seen before. Matt Reeves' specific Gotham universe was so interesting. It felt so grounded, it felt so real, but there was an element there that felt very comic booky. Here, I will say that comic book element is stripped down, but I loved seeing the more of Gotham, like the countrysides, the daylight. Oh my god, seeing Gotham with sun, it feels startling. It feels like, oh, what are we doing here? And I love that. I think this was the exact tone, style, and atmosphere I wanted to see with this show. I loved what Matt Reeves cooked up in the Batman, but I wanted to see more of the town. I wanted to see more of what they could offer here. And I didn't know a series was what I wanted to, but this was a good example of giving me something I did not know I needed, but I needed it. Now I want it. Now I'm happy. And now I'm happy to see this is going to transition to the Batman Part 2 easily. I also hope they keep the style and tone up as well. Wow, this show is dark, serious, gritty, in your face, but I also laugh. I am also stunned by the cinematography, by the heart that the show has as well. There's so many different elements that makes this work. It makes this, to me, one of my favorite shows I've seen of 2024. Alright everyone, that is it for my review of The Penguin Season 1. This is probably the only season of the show. I was in a Penguin press conference yesterday, and Colin Farrell does not seem to be wanting to put that outfit back on. I understand, it seems hectic, but man, if he can, I will watch Colin Farrell do this role year after year. I absolutely love it, and I think people are going to fall in love with the role and with this show as much as I did. Alright, what did you think of this review? What do you think of The Penguin? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want more detailed episode reviews, I will get those if you want to see them. So share your thoughts, give me some thumbs up, give me some comments, subscribe, all that jazz, and let's talk about The Penguin, DC, and Batman right down below.